What's up everybody, True Evil here, and today I'm going to be showing you what I am going to be preparing for in order to have the most successful double drop weekend possible. And this is going to be a make or break it point personally for me on my account because I don't have Lily, I don't have Kloss, and Inferno besides Doki Doki feels pretty much impossible. So this double drop weekend's priority is to make sure that I am absolutely geared up so I can 100% clear Inferno Doki on auto and be able to clear Inferno Niconana. These are the two biggest things that I need to be able to clear to farm Swift Raid, and hopefully with Swift Raid I will be able to get my account into a place where I can farm Inferno everything else. It's just that initial push that's going to be extremely difficult. Now, because we have a couple of days left before the double weekend, I'm going to prioritize shells, and personally the only two shells I actually need for my account is a triple pip unbreakable swift fast, and the reason for that, I currently have an artisan with time weave swift fast and the other one is unbreakable bramble. Unfortunately, you're going to need to use Holden as a dispel for terror, and because of that he needs to go quick, so he needs to swift fast, and because terror is sort of a time limit, we do also need to be able to dish some damage out because we are going to be taking away a damage slot by putting him as the dispeller. So I do feel like I need this unbreakable. So I am going to be spending some time tomorrow trying to find this shell, but it may or may not happen, and because of that, it's sort of like it would be great if I got it, but the most important thing this weekend is to be able to clear Doki and Nico. And because of that, I wrote down all my teams I'm going to be using for my initial Inferno runs, and the main thing I need to look at is the substitutions. Like for now, I am using Holden and Aurora and Terror, as well as using Doki in pretty much everything, and Ling Luo can be used in place of Valerian in a lot of these, and in Terror, pretty much have to use Valerian because of the possibility of a one-shot. As well as Dating and Gray can be either or in Terror. Personally, right now, my Gray just does significantly more damage, but I feel like when Dating gets his final lattice into his skill 1, it may change that, but my Gray is absolutely a monster. So looking at this, the most important things to clear is going to be the Nico and the Doki, and unfortunately this is the scary thing because there's not a lot of overlap here. Sure, Valerian and Ling Luo and Doki is a overlap, but I have to use Viper and Nico. I really need that damage reduction and just pretty much a permanent speed down and attack down with Viper, and the DPSs are going to be different. Now, this is going to be pretty important because here, when I was trying to see if I could do Inferno Nico today, what was happening was my Dating was getting one-shotted halfway through. I was able to do about half his health, and then all of a sudden there was a random buff on the Nico where he gets that attack up and speed up, and he just one-shots my Dating. So because of that, I might have to switch to Holden as my DPS just so my Dating doesn't get one-shotted, but also I don't have a max dupe Dating for that 10% damage reduction and 10% more damage, so I may have to get a dupe of him in the shop, but I'm going to put that as a last resort because I really don't want to use my dupe currency on anything except an SSR just because of how important it will be in the future for me to get dupes. So this is going to be my two priorities, and the scary thing is there's no overlays, so we're really going to be, I would say the first thing that's most important is Inferno Doki, and with my lattices that I get this weekend, it's going to be going into here and seeing how much I have to invest in with the gear that I farm to be able to clear this. I'm going to make sure I can clear Inferno Doki first, and once I get this at 100%, we're going to go to Nico and see how much lattices I need to invest in those other characters that I wasn't using. And this means that if my Viper needs those lattices, then I might have to wait till the beginning of next week. So the most important part of this is that we need to farm prowess. Prowess is going to be the most important thing to farm at the beginning, as just because prowess doesn't give you a whole lot during the week, and I would rather be farming modules just because of the XP and everything else that goes with the module farming. I am going to prioritize my first thing with getting the prowesses I need for all my units so that I am able to not have to worry about farming the outposts when I'm trying to get my main goal set. And because of that, my Ting is going to be my number one priority. This is how many of the gold packs I need to max out his final prowess. And then for my Doki, what I am doing is listing as much as I'm going to need to max them, so I never have to do GP outpost hopefully ever again after this weekend. And my Doki, I'm hoping I don't have to use this. I am going to put one lattice into her to max out her skill 3, but she's just not a character I really want to really invest heavily in right now. But if I have to, because I'm using her in pretty much every mode, I will use 2 lattices if I have to, but it's going to feel really mid if I have to do that. So she's still a priority. Because Holden, I am going to be using him in Terra, Aurora, and possibly Nico. He is definitely on there. And then I hope I don't need to put any lattices into Kazuyo, but if I need to put like 1 or 2 so she does more damage or she has more accuracy on her skill 1 or more defense, I'm going to do it to make sure I can clear auto Doki. And then pretty much the rest is all going to go to Ling Luo and Viper, and this is going to be all the extra. Now, because Valerian can be used in everything, I did list to put some of the light prowess in, just because I might max out her skill 2 or a little bit into her skill 2, so she's more tanky, and she doesn't really need the HP. She's not going to be the one who dies, but if she takes less damage from the AoEs, that means when she uses her skill 3, the distribution is going to be much better. So I am also going to list some characters that I don't have built at all, but I'm going to be honest, since Inferno Terror is so hard, I might be using Kachi the Guard and Red Kazuyo to completely cheese the boss. I might show a video of my friend doing that tomorrow, but just because I am probably going to need 1 Fury Edge, I don't truly need to farm Terror that much, I believe. I just need to get 1 Fury Edge from my Ting, and I'll be good to go after that because I have a lot of defense-oriented units with Rahu and Holden, so I might just do the cheese method if that's what I need to do. We got to do what we got to do at this point because I want to do PvP, and it's really scary knowing that there's people who are getting these final matrices and are able to do the content and absolutely obliterate me in PvP. I have to be able to do it. So if I have to build some cheese units next week, so be it. It's just going to feel pretty mid because I want to be upgrading my PvP units as well. And putting a back burner on the thing that made me want to actually play the game feels a little bad, but I do know that if I put in the hard work now, it's going to pay off in the end. So after I do this prowess farming, which is probably going to take 30 capsules, hopefully. Now, I'm probably not going to get these. I'm just going to really prioritize on these bad boys. And then by the time I get to these, I will hopefully have so much saved up that I don't need to worry, and I can just use the prowess packs from the Union Shop to really fill in those holes. Then I need to worry about getting these red gears for my characters and just making sure every character has their maximum matrices. And for me, a lot of them are going to be Swift Rush, Time Weave, as well as for my Valerian, I want to have 12 Time Weave, 8 Wellspring. Just for that extra shield is going to be super important on these Inferno modes. And I can't mess around using a what I'm doing now is I believe I'm doing 8 Unbreakable, 12 Time Weave, and I just need the Wellspring at this point. So this is what I'm going to do on my Valerian with her Artisan Shell. My Dating and my Gray, I'm just switching out for Kenai. That's going to be really important because Onslaught just doesn't do as much damage. Now, some people say the Onslaught does more damage than Kenai, and I don't know how they got that number because I've been watching a lot of people, and it's just I you know, if they, it is what it is, you know. But yeah. Then Hellkid, for my Hellkid, right now I have a Onslaught Battle Will, and I can put an Onslaught Fury count on him. This isn't going to be good to be able to clear the shell content in the later Infernos with the possibility of needing him, because I do need Bulwark, because there is the possibility of him getting silenced before his first turn, and if he gets silenced and he can't use his skill 3, it's pretty much an auto wipe. So Bulwark is pretty mandatory for him, but I'm still using him on Terror, so I can use Battle Will or Fury. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get these 3-pip Onslaughts, and if I don't get Fury pieces that will work with that, or I will use Fury with Hellkid if I have a Gray, but if Gray is just too weak to be able to do Inferno Terror, I am going to do Battle Will. So it's going to be either or on that. If I'm using Dating, we're using Battle Will. If we're using Gray, we're using Fury. And then the Swift Rush and Time Weave and the Bulwark pieces, this is just what I need to fill out all my utility units. So on some of these game modes, I'm going to be using 3 utility units, and if I get all of this gear, I'm going to be able to get that 12-12 super nice. So this is going to be a huge priority for me on the farming, and because of the Kenai pieces I need, because of the little bit of Onslaught, Wellspring, and then the other ones, I'm going to be doing mostly Terramaton Hell 4 at the beginning, and getting those pieces I need to upgrade, and then I'm going to go to Doki Hell 4. And I'm also going to be doing that a little bit this week if I give up on the shell game. Now, I would probably expect to start this tomorrow, and what I'm going to basically do for the upgrading on my lattices as well at the beginning is if my Hell 4 Terror team fails at all, I pop a lattice in my Holden. That's what I'm going to do. And as well as any of the SRs, if I fail Hell 4 Terror, you know, we're going to have a level 2 on the skill 2 of the Valerian. Just any little tiny bit I can do to make it 100%, because I did 20 runs today and I failed one, and I was watching it. I was actually playing Mario Kart, and I was having it run on my monitor, and I looked over, one of my units died, and all of a sudden Terramaton attacked 6 times with the laser beam attacks in a row, because my Holden could have cleared it if it was only 2 or 3 of the laser beam attacks, but just because of how it worked, I got absolutely toasted, and I was just like, what is this boss? So yeah, I'm probably going to pop a couple of lattices into my units to make sure that's 100%, because let's face it, if we don't have 100% on the L4, there is no chance in the Inferno. And then the Bulwark and tiny bit of Fury, that will be last after I get the Doki and the Terramaton pieces. And on this, it's going to be sort of the same thing. I am pretty guaranteed 100% on the Doki clears, but if I fail one time, I'm going to upgrade my Kazuyo, and that's all there is to it, right? It really is going to depend. I'm going to be watching all these playthroughs at the same time on my side monitor while it's running, and I'm going to just, if I see I'm failing, I'm going to be like, was it because of defense, or was it because I didn't do enough damage? And that's when I'm going to upgrade on my Kazuyo from that. Now, the Bulwark and the Fury will be after that, and it's going to be the same way I'm going to be upgrading. I'm really just going to make sure, can I clear Hell 4 on all these modes 100% of the time? Because if I can't clear 100% of the time easily, then Inferno is just impossible. Then after that, these are my 5-star units that I need to get to 6-star, And the biggest ones to focus on is going to be if I do Ling Luo and Viper for Nico, I'm probably going to upgrade one of these. But if I can't 6-star Doki, then I might just 6-star Kazuya first. Now, I do want to put lattices into her before I 6-star her because I would rather 6-star Viper or Ling Luo for my PvP teams. But, Kazuya is also an amazing PvP unit as well. So it's going to be one of these three, and it's going to be the same instance of can I clear Doki 100%, and if not, most likely upgrade this, but I do think the Viper and the Ling Luo are also pretty important. The thing with Ling Luo is I can use Valerian in Nico as well as the Doki, so I might put her on the back burner and upgrade either Viper or Kazuya, which feels really mid. I really want to have a 6-star Ling Luo. So that is going to be which one I 6-star this week, and I might even put a gold lattice in my Ling Luo. If I'm being honest, I might upgrade that skill 3 with one lattice for that extra 1% on both the heals on the skill 3 because she is so needed in a lot of these late game in modes. And even though I really need to be upgrading my Holden as well as my other DPS characters that are SSRs, it's just if I have to, I'm gotta do what I gotta do at this point. So for that last resort, I really don't want to do any of these three options, but if everything fails, for example, I'm on Hell 4 Aurora and I can't 100% clear it, then I think I have to get a dupe of Deting because I need one more dupe to get that extra 10% damage and 10% damage reduction. And if that's what I need to be able to get final matrices and be able to progress my account this week, then I'm going to do that. And unfortunately, that's going to mean it's going to take way longer for me to get another dupe of an SSR I need, but it is what it is. I think it's more important to be able to progress my account and have those final matrices than for me to have a dupe of a character. And I hope it doesn't come to that, but I will get the dupe of Deting. And then in the same boat, if the Deting dupe is not enough, I'm going to get the Viper dupe, which I absolutely do not want to do, right? But if I have to get the Viper dupe, then I'm going to get the Viper dupe because I feel like if I can't clear Inferno Niconana this week, then it's my account is cooked. So definitely going to spend as much I can on the dupe shop to guarantee that success rate. Now, the last thing I can buy, and I really hope it doesn't come to this, is I will pay $30 for the gold lattice from the shop. And I really don't want to buy that weekly shop top up, but I feel like at this point as a content creator, if I'm not able to progress into Inferno, I'm just not going to be able to make the guides for you guys. And it feels really bad saying that because, I really want to be able to make content and have fun doing that. And I just wanted everything to be a good time. But I'm really at this place where I feel like it may not be another option. And buying this gold lattice, I feel like, at least from my personal experience with gacha content creation, is that I like to watch someone who has an account that's like mine. And because of that, I'm building a light spender account. I don't want to go like into a crazy whale territory, and I feel like spending that $30 is not only will that put me like I don't make a ton of money on my videos to begin with. I don't have any sponsorships currently, and having that like paying $30 for such a small power up is such a whale thing, and I feel like it'll be make my content sort of a disconnect from people. And not only that, it'll make it so I don't want to make no money off this right now because I am currently unemployed. So I really don't want to have to do something like that. But if I have to do it, then, I got to do what I got to do. So that is how everything is going to work out this week. Hopefully it doesn't come to the last resorts and we're going to farm everything. I'm going to let you guys know all the progress during the double XP weekend, and let me know if your plans for this are looking similar, as well as what you are really going to focus for on your teams and how your teams are different from mine. So that's about it. See you guys next time.